Do you have too much money and not enough social interactions? How about you spend your money wisely by buying some, well, pixels? And I'm not talking about NFTs for once. Unlike NFTs, when you buy any of these items, well, actually, no, you still will have to defend your purchases to your friends and acquaintances because everyone's gonna call it stupid. Anyway, here's 10 really expensive things that people purchased for real life money in games without any benefits. Enjoy!
Here are the 10 most expensive in-game items ever. Number 10, Javelin, Star Citizen, $2,500.
What?
Star Citizen's Javelins are one of the best examples of gamers trusting.
If you're wondering, the only reason why I'm watching this is because the host's hot. Yeah, I'm that shallow, it's fine.
In the long-term investment model. While it certainly wasn't the first title to have in-game items double up as currency, the amount developers Cloud Imperium games have been able to raise for a game still in development is staggering. The items that have made the biggest splash over the course of the game's lifetime have been Javelin destroyer spaceships. According to Cloud Imperium, these 1,132-foot-long Javelin destroyers come with 4 primary thrusters, private rooms for the captain and officer, a hefty hangar,
implying you have friends to play with you in this game. But anyway, other than that, this seems a little bit sus for even number 10. Because in this game, there are items, I'm pretty sure, that exceed even the 100k mark. And I'm not joking, like some founder packs exceed like tens of thousands. I think definitely at least one thing exceeded like 60k. And that's no joke, and some people actually bought it. In fact, there were multiple people that bought it. People are absolutely insane when it comes to Star Citizen. It came in the exact right time. The name was the exact right thing because for some reason Google led people to Star Citizen when they looked up something with a similar name. And that was absolutely amazing for them. So many things just aligned perfectly. And yeah, this is not even its... well, most expensive. I don't think 2K is really that expensive for Star Citizen at all. Not gonna lie, those people are insane. And the game's still in development. It has been for like 10 years or something. It's a little bit playable now, but I would not suggest you put money into that.
a bay capable of housing a gunship, 12 maneuvering thrusters, a heavily armored bridge, and a lifetime insurance warranty. Players were also told that these ships were battle-hardened, meaning they'd also have to
Does that just mean they're used? Then you're buying second-hand goods.
fork out for the missing 20 gun turrets and 2 torpedo launchers. The end total needed to get one of these ships in working order? 2,500 real-world US dollars. Not that that stopped the game's investors, however. Within a minute of the auction going
I like how in these games it's usually not... They will never say players, because it's always investors, you know? It's always someone trying to make it rich, not actually play the game. And when that happens, you know you're guaranteed success. And by that I mean you're gonna slowly burn, usually.
live, all 200 Javelins had been sold, raising over $500,000 for Cloud Imperium games. All of this in a game that still hasn't been released, even after a decade in development. Number 9, Blue Party Hat, RuneScape, $4,000. Going from a juggernaut.
Okay, I'm pretty sure the Blue Party Hat is not even the most expensive thing. And since they're saying just RuneScape in general, not old school RuneScape or RuneScape 3, I think there are more expensive items in RuneScape 3 or something like that. There are a couple of really expensive ones.
Juggernaut spaceship capable of conquering entire galaxies to something far more humble, RuneScape's famous Blue Party Hat once set a player back over $6,500. In 2001, developers Jagex decided to hold a special Christmas celebration in RuneScape, spreading the season of goodwill by dropping Christmas crackers to players, which, when pulled, would result in the winners getting items and the losers getting a consolation party hat. Despite all being a bit of fun that wasn't really worth more than a few
Consolation party hat. Imagine that. Now it's literally the most expensive item in old school RuneScape, or at least in the top 5 in general.
Pennies initially. Ultimately, these party hats were discontinued and not obtainable after the celebration.
Yep.
The value of these hats subsequently began to soar, far eclipsing the maximum value allowed at the in-game Grand Exchange marketplace. Price estimates for the items still value the blue party hat at over 2 billion RuneScape gold.
Huh? That seems a little bit BS. So, well, I'm not expecting What Culture to actually do any research, but thankfully I know a little bit about this. Let's listen to more of their BS though.
With recorded sales roughly equating to over $4,000. And with no other hats being introduced since, it seems these incredibly rare items will only continue to rise in value over the coming years.
Okay, so yeah, that's BS. So, the thing about party hats that's absolutely amazing in RuneScape, you have some people in RuneScape who don't actually play the game, but they literally just want to be the economic kingpins. And some people have achieved that, and they have a lot of party hats. So essentially what happens with the party hats and all other discontinued rare items in RuneScape and all of its versions is people artificially drive up the price. Because there is a max cash stack that you can bid, that you can have in RuneScape. So that means items cannot exceed X value. Which means to trade an item you sometimes need to do, you know, a lot of different things to actually get real worth. So, considering party hats are so ridiculously expensive and other items like party hats are so ridiculously expensive, the most rich players just trade the party hats amongst themselves. Each time, they're just buying and selling for a little bit more. They're literally price manipulating the item because they can. Because they hold such an obscene amount of them, and they are one of the few people who actually have enough gold and you know, liquid assets to buy and sell them. Oh, it's just so ridiculous. Technically, this item could be worth 100 billion in real life money in a year if those people wanted to, but they're doing it a little bit slower. It's a complete scam, essentially.
Again though, it's just a paper party hat. Number 8. Zuzu, World of Warcraft, $9,500.
No idea
World of
what that
Warcraft is the world's
But it's a mount. I know, it must be a mount. It's always a mount.
most popular MMORPG, home to some of the most dedicated gamers that the industry has ever seen. Back in 2007, one of these players took dedication to the game to a staggering new height in a transaction that would see Blizzard clamp down on their character. Zuzu was a level 70 Night Elf rogue in WoW who managed to sell his character to a player called Shax for roughly 7,000 euros.
Does this have anything to do with the Varglaves? Because I remember there was one rogue who got both Varglaves and then they sold the account. But it wasn't public knowledge the account was sold. But previously that rogue was pretty good at PvP. And then the person who bought that account also did PvP. But the problem was that person was extremely bad at PvP. So that's why the account got banned.
About $9,500 at the time. The justification for this life-changing amount of money was that this rogue came with the legendary Blades of Azzinoth, which could only be looted off Illidan Stormrage's corpse in the Black Temple. Zuzu then continued to play the game for years.
Yeah, I knew it. Since it's a rogue, it couldn't be any other story. But 7K? I think the money amount could technically vary. Because I heard different... I think I remember 5K.
After the sale with a different rogue build. As for Shax, the character quickly disappeared from the game, with most assuming they'd probably been banned.
Oh yeah, and the guy who bought it then wanted a refund because he got banned. Imagine that, you want a refund because you got banned. Oh my dear lord.
Blizzard have always been firm on their policy of selling accounts being a big no-no.
Yeah, but they allow bots to roam free all they want, destroying economies, destroying classic WoW, and you know, everything else.
So it's safe to say this might not have been the smartest of investments from this not-so-slick buyer. Number 7. Burning Killer Exclusive, Team Fortress 2, $12,000. The Killer Exclusive is an...
Is it gonna be a hat, or is it gonna be a weapon? I think it's gonna be a hat.
In-game cosmetic item for Team Fortress 2 made by its community. Named after the term for a juicy
Yep.
breaking news story.
I honestly don't think weapons even can actually sell for that much. I don't think in CS:GO, well, in CS:GO you don't have hats. Honestly, I think Valve is like seriously dropping the ball on that market. They could be making an extra billion a month, you know? But yeah, I don't think weapons actually sell for that much in Team Fortress 2. But man, what a game. I loved playing it as a kid with friends. Oh, good times.
This item is a light beige fedora that can be worn by all classes with a card saying press sticking out
Never heard about this, by the way. Huh, interesting.
at the front. The item was initially just a promotional tie-in launched with PC Gamer, but soon found its way into the game as a cosmetic, with the flaming variant quickly becoming one of the rarest pieces of equipment on the market. The Burning Killer exclusive stock continued to climb over the following years, eventually being sold via TF2's marketplace for 400 buds in 2014,
Ooh.
a sum which, when converted, works out to around $12,000. The trade was made between a player known as Shadow and the buyer Gora, and became endemic of the impact community marketplaces can have on virtual items. It remains the highest value trade ever in the Team Fortress 2 community, and as a result has become pretty famous, or
I don't think anything's gonna beat that though. Team Fortress is, you know, there's still a dedicated player base and a lot of people just play it time to time, but man, its time's passing, and as we all know from Valve, you never get a part 3 of anything. I'm surprised that they even allow you to type the letter 3. No, wait, that's probably a number. Anyway, well, I don't know what it is. Valve certainly doesn't know what 3 is. So, probably never seeing anything more expensive than that, honestly.
infamous. Number 6. Echoing Fury Mace, Diablo 3, $15,000.
Oh, gee.
With the highest damage of any one-handed weapon, the Echoing Fury Mace's discovery in Diablo 3 was a watershed moment in the game's history.
First of all, this is console, you absolute peasantry class. Second of all, man, Diablo 3. Imagine your game is so unbelievably good that literally every class except Demon Hunter has one weapon, the best, and nothing else even come close. And that was the Echoing Fury.
Requiring a character level of 60 to drop, this infamous mace gained a reputation for exploiting a damage allocation bug, so naturally it was pretty sought after.
Never heard that.
With 1166.2 to 1433.8 damage per second and 1.25 to 1.26 attacks per second, the Echoing Fury Mace is the ultimate DPS dealing machine. Following the 2.6.6 patch, the weapon gained a unique stacking element that increases attack speed and movement by 75%, 25% in total for every enemy killed, just in case it wasn't powerful enough. The original owner of the weapon famously sold the Echoing Fury Mace for a few $1,000s to allegedly help pay their rent.
Bullshit. I was gonna actually talk about this, but she brings it up. That's not true. The original owner of the first one of these that sold so good, by the way, it sold so good because it was like close to perfectly rolled or something like that. You know, other ones were pretty good, but this one was like pitch perfect or pitch perfect pretty much. So the reason, the funny thing about this was, when this item sold, there were 2 types of auction houses in Diablo 3. There was the gold one and the money one. And the thing about the money one was every item was capped at a price of $250, okay? Or something. I don't remember it, but it was $250 or maybe $500 if you're super lucky. But the thing was, for gold, you could exceed that limit by a couple of zeros, I think, or something like that. So the guy got the best item, and it instantaneously sold, but he sold it in the money auction house for $250. And the guy who bought it for $250 instantaneously sold it in the gold auction house for like an extra 0 or 2 extra zeros. It was ridiculous. What was the price that here? 15k. Yeah, and after, yeah, I think that was the second sale of that item. But yeah, the first one sold it for 250 in the in the real money one, and after the other guy who bought it instantaneously sold it in the gold one for 10k plus. That's the story of that Echoing Fury. Oh my god, it was so ridiculous. Imagine being so stupid. Imagine losing out on free 10k just because, money. Because you could easily convert gold into money.
But that didn't stop its stock from soaring in the years since. A bid of 40 billion in-game gold was later offered up for the weapon, which, when you work out the conversion, is about $15,000.
Yep.
Number 5. Dragon Slaying Saber, Age of Wulin, $16,000.
No idea what that is.
Snail's Age of Wulin / Wushu launched in China in August of 2012, but shot to the gaming world's attention with an auction in China on Christmas Day of 2011. The auction was held for various digital in-game items that players would be able to use when the game launched. Various items were listed and commanded decent prices, with the
I mean, in China, this is completely normal. Also, the West wishes it was completely normal, and developers are making it slowly completely normal. Oh boy, isn't it gonna be great in a couple of years?
Except the Hook of Departure, of which there's only 10 in the game, and a Lordly Spear Sheath, of which there's only 5, selling for 10,000 yuan, which is about $1,600 and 18,000.
That's so cheap.
300 yuan, which is about $2,500 respectively. However, the biggest lot of the auction was a scabbard called the Dragon Slaying Saber, which ended up...
You're telling me something in China that's supposed to be cool is not called Soaring Dragon, Earth-Shattering, Cloud-Breaking, Heaven-Shaking something, but just a Dragon Scabbard? Unbelievable. Is this game even I think we're getting played here, boys. Because there's no way something cool in China is not called all of those things combined.
Going for 100,000 yuan, which is about $16,000. With the game still in beta at this point, it was an astonishing moment, but the promise of it being a one-of-a-kind item that would only have one owner in its lifespan...
Wait. Was this the... Is this the story of the one where developers promised there's only going to be one, and then after they said, yeah, you know what, F you? We're selling more after a while?
And managed to coax someone into burning a very big hole in their wallet. Number 4.
Ah, it wasn't. Because there was... I remember there was a different situation. Maybe it was this and they just don't tell it, but I don't remember which one it was. There was a situation where a game sold some kind of super powerful in-game item that's literally pay to win and said, yeah, this is one of a kind, chief. Someone bought it, and after like a month or something, the game's developers were, you know what? How about we just make more of those and sell them? Yeah. Oh, pain.
Gold Magnate, EVE Online, $33,000. In January of 2020, YouTuber Scott Manley broke internet headlines everywhere when he lobbed a whopping $33,000 on a gold magnate in EVE Online.
Oh, this is a competition ship, probably.
Making it the most expensive ship sold in the game. One of the rarest ships, these powerful frigates have only ever popped up sporadically over the course of EVE's history, and have only been obtainable via in-game tournament rewards.
Yep. So, if in EVE, this is the thing, right? That tournament winners get awarded unique ships of one of a kind. And the thing about EVE, if you don't know it, if your ship blows up, it's gone. It's gone. So those are one of a kind items that can any moment be no longer one of a kind because they just don't flat out exist. So those things are going to be expensive.
Historic purchase actually came during CCP Games' Plex for Good campaign, which was an initiative run to help raise money for the Australian bushfire effort. The YouTuber purchased this gold magnate from user Keylon Darklight's auction with a bid of 1,001,001 Plex. For reference, Plex is an in-game currency in EVE, with 1 million Plex worth approximately $32,500 in real-world money. That 1 million Plex is worth about 3.3 trillion ISK, the game's primary currency.
It's called ISK, by the way.
That most players deal in. Given the fact
ISK. Hey, at the start I said, I'm watching this video because she's hot, not because, you know, she's actually good at this. She's just a random person who reads out things for a content farm at the end of the day. What do you want? ISK, ISK.
Players start off with a
I don't even play, by the way, Eve. I have never even played it in my life, nor I plan to, but even I know that it's ISK.
ship worth around 5 million ISK, about 5 cents. That makes this sale worth about 170 years of time in-game. This $33,000 purchase certainly made a
EVE Online has so many insane things.
splash, but at least in the case of this particular transaction, it did some good.
Why did my internet die? And why did it just suddenly jump to 720? Interesting.
Outside the game too. Number 3. Ethereal Flames Pink War Dog, Dota 2.
Oh, I know this one.
$38,000. In Valve's Dota 2, couriers are used to transport items to and from a base to players dotted across the map. Every player gets one, they're invulnerable when they're in their home fountain, and they basically get player for the gold passively throughout the match. It's safe to say couriers aren't
They what?
the most jaw-dropping part of this MOBA. However, that all changed in November of 2013 when it was revealed a player had forked out a whopping $38,000 for one of these trusty steeds. According to a player named...
By the way, the courier itself is absolutely nothing special. The special thing, well, I'm not going to spoil it, but the courier itself is completely normal and common.
Harder, they sold their Ethereal Flames Pink War Dog to another user for that 5-figure sum. The War Dogs are already amongst the most powerful couriers in the game, and the Ethereal
Powerful couriers? Couriers don't do anything! They literally just deliver items.
Flame effect is a striking visual. But where the value in the item really comes from is in its rarity. Allegedly, only 4 creatures of this kind existed in the game at the time, mainly due to Valve not having pink set as one of its primary 10 colors, on account of glitches that could occur with black skins. In turn, this made the...
Okay, yeah, so let me explain this a little bit better. The courier is completely common. It's nothing special. You can buy these things for like, I don't know, like 30 cents a pop. But the thing what makes that courier that rare is the fact that that color code literally does not exist on almost anything. It's like one of the most absolutely unquestionably uniquest things ever. And that's the color code. All these couriers can be bought for 30 cents. But the ones with this rare color code, yeah, that's the one that costs a lot.
Pink set as one of its primary 10 colors, on account of glitches that could occur.
Oh, and by the way, pink is also a common color, but this specific pink is the super rare one.
With black skins. In turn, this made the rarity of the item skyrocket, and one user was there to capitalize. Number 2, Souvenir AWP Dragon Law, CSGO, 61.
Obviously, you needed a little bit of CS. People who play CS and for the loot box are insane.
$1,000. Valve's Counter-Strike Global Offensive has a whole array of weapon and item skins available from the Steam marketplace. These in no way enhance someone's abilities in the game, but some of the designs have commanded a hefty price tag over the years. The most legendary is the Dragon Law AWP, which was added to the game in 2014 as part of the Boston 2018 Cobblestone Souvenir package during Operation Breakout. There are 10 different cases that include the Dragon Law that players can grab, but it does have one of the rarest drop rates in the game of just 0.64%.
Almost a nice percent.
The striking design coupled with this rarity has contributed to Dragon Law's price fluctuating from $2,700.
By the way, no one cares about the design in CS. No one literally does. The only thing that actually makes an item valuable is its drop percent. That's it. If an item looks like absolute travesty trash, then as long as it has 0.something% chance of dropping, it's actually going to sell for a lot. But admittedly, if the skin also looks good and it is rare, then it obviously is a multiplier.
$to $8,600, depending on its attached quality stat. For one particular player though, that wasn't sufficient. Following the release of the Souvenir package in the wake of the Boston Major, one player forked over a hefty $61,000 for the Souvenir version of this legendary sniper rifle. Number 1, Planet Calypso, Entropia Universe.
Oh, it's gonna be number one Entropia in the universe. I honestly expected every item here to be from Second Life. There's that 1 million asteroid that got purchased in Second Life. There was like that 200k egg in Second Life. Oh man. What a horrible video, honestly. What an absolutely shitty video. It's just a bunch of random purchases sorted in a thing. Yeah, because I know that there are so many things in Second Life. And by the way, Second Life is still a real thing. I heard it about once when I was a kid in school. Never tried it, don't want to try it. But man, there are fields, planets that people purchase in Second Life. And, well, also Entropia Universe also. Wait, is that actually Second Life? I don't know. But also in Entropia Universe, there are... I know that I think it was Entropia Universe where... Oh, wait, actually Planet Calypso. Maybe this is going to be the thing I just wanted to mention. Let's see.
$6 million. From its launch, MindArc emphasized that Entropia Universe would prioritize capitalism over gameplay. The game's open marketplace allows players to redeem the in-game project Entropia dollar for US dollars at a fixed 10-to-1 exchange rate, which has led to some hefty investments into various in-game items. The game has seen in-game items such as a nest egg, holiday resort, and sections of a space station all auctioned off for tens of thousands of dollars. However, the biggest
You know what's the craziest thing about this? All of these things actually have made huge ROI for everyone who bought them. Like, the people who bought the planet are making so much money off of it. The person who bought the space station, also, I think that was Second Life though, and that also making absolute bank. Like, these purchases in games where this actually works are just absolutely absurd money makers.
investment of all was reserved for its very first piece of major content added, Planet Calypso. Having attracted over 950,000 registered accounts from over 200 countries, Planet Calypso acted as the centerpiece to Entropia's universe, which prompted a mind-boggling $6 million purchase from fellow developers C Virtual Worlds in 2011. The studio
Honestly, it probably has already made the money back.
had planned to turn Calypso into a wacky tribute to Michael Jackson, where players could make donations to his various charities whilst remembering the King of Pop, but instead channeled that energy into the thankfully cancelled game, Planet Michael. Regardless, with $428 million sunk into the game over its lifespan, you can see where the developer's lofty valuation came from. That's the end of our list, but do let me know down in that comment section if you can think of any other entries.
Your hot list was absolute garbage. Subscribe to me, unsubscribe from What Culture Games because the channel is just a content farm trash. And that's pretty much it. She's hot, I'm hot, like and subscribe, I'm out.